But for round 3, the San Marino Grand Prix, what the fans wanted was a Ferrari victory. After qualifying, what they got was Senna and Rosberg on the front row, Alboreto on the second. And in a lowly 15th spot, in only his second race for Ferrari, Stefan Johansson.
The practice for me here was not particularly good. I had a lot of problems with my car. One engine broke and I had to use the spare car. And I was down in 15th place on the grid. And in fact, my start was not particularly good either, so I think I lost another 2 places on the first lap. But I was still quite happy with the car in race condition. We'd done a lot of laps with full tanks, and I was quite confident before the race that it was going to go reasonably well. I took it quite easy in the beginning because I wanted to save the tires, and also we all knew that it was going to be quite marginal on the fuel. So therefore, I decided to take it easy for the first 10 laps or so. In the meantime, there was a very good dice up at the front between the 2 Lotuses, Michele and Alain Prost. That went on for a very long time, I believe. I think that's Prost just overtaking Elio. Meanwhile, I got up to 6th place quite early on, and it was quite interesting to see the reaction from the public, where, as you can see on this picture here, in the beginning when I overtook cars there was really nothing, but as soon as I started to get in the points, they started to get quite excited. I think this is Michele about to break down here. This is Michele pulling into the pits. I think the reason why he stopped was because he had a flat battery or something. They did send him out again, but it only lasted for a few more laps before he had to stop again. And here's the moment where I'm about to overtake Elio, I think. I was behind him for many, many laps trying to overtake, but there was no way I could make any ground on him on the straights. So I knew I had to put it all in one go when we had some traffic, some back markers to overtake. It did work out, but it was pretty close. And then Alan started to slow down here because obviously his fuel gauge was reading that he had to take it a bit easy. The reason I didn't slow down particularly was because halfway through the race I already turned the boost down a bit, because I tried 1 lap and I could do about the same lap time even so. So I thought it's better to be safe and have a little bit extra in the end of the race if I had to charge. It was nice when I overtook Senna for the lead to see the reaction from the crowd, and you could actually hear the crowd above the engine, which was an incredible feeling. Unfortunately, there was something wrong with the engine. There was a little crack in the turbo inlet in the log, which made the electronics read the wrong consumption, so it pumped in too much fuel. And that, of course, made the car eventually run out of fuel a lap and a half from the end. Well, obviously then it was not a very nice feeling. Maybe I shouldn't relate what I thought on the TV. There's Prost crossing the line. And there's Elio cruising in as well. We'll walk back to the pits. There's a lot of exercising at the end of the race here. I think everybody just about had to walk back to the pits or push their car. It's Alan receiving the trophy, which he eventually had to hand over to Elio because he was disqualified for the car being underweight.
In post-race scrutineering, the scales said that Prost's car was 2 kilograms underweight, and that was that. For Prost, it was an unlucky day, just as it was for Johansson and for Senna. McLaren had only collected 3 points in 2 races, and now a Lotus driver, De Angelis, led the table by 4 points from Alboreto, with Prost in 4th place behind Tombe.